Hey there, it's Walt. I'm recording this while I'm trapped deep in Indonesia in a town called 𝗪𝗡 near the base of Karsten's pyramid, and we've been trapped here for days because of the weather. We have to helicopter through a high pass to base camp in order to begin the climb, and the helicopter can only fly during certain hours of the day, and of course in certain weather conditions. And the weather has been dismal as we have sat here for days and days and days waiting for the opportunity to get on the mountain. And so we're here trapped, which sounds very dramatic, except that we're in a very sweet little villa, very sweet little resort area, and not at all uncomfortable like being trapped in a tent on some remote glacier. So it's not that terrible to be trapped. And yet I began thinking about the idea of being trapped and how easy it is for all of us to have a sense of being trapped in our work, in our careers, in our jobs, in our routines, in our very lives. It's easy to feel trapped, and being trapped is often a result of our shoulds, what we tell ourselves we should be doing, what stories we tell about our lives, about the things we have to do. And one of the great gifts of being trapped where I am is that I am surrounded by an amazing team, fellow team members on this expedition to climb Karsten's pyramid, one of the 7 summits of the world. And the members of this team are just this amazing group of people. Of course, I'm here with my business partner, my life partner, my climbing partner, Anne, who's amazing in her own right. But the other members of this team are astounding in the way they live and the way they show up. We have one of our team members is a world-renowned 8,000 meter climber, climbs some of the hardest, highest peaks in the world during the winter. We have another gentleman who has been expert at rowing and has done a single-handed solo row across the Atlantic Ocean. He's also jogged across Greenland. We have a husband-wife team who has climbed Everest and many of the other high summits of the world. And so this wonderful group of people gathered, sharing their stories, being part of this shared experience of being here, but sharing their stories and reveling in the adventure that life is. And these are in many ways ordinary people, people of ordinary means, people who have ordinary responsibilities, people who have families, people who have jobs, people who are not of extraordinary privilege necessarily, but the way they look at life, the way they thirst for life. They share my view of the world that we ought to be not living to work so much as working to live, to carve out those places where we can live richly, deeply, fully, with joy. And it's a good reminder because, Ann and I love our business, and it's so easy to devolve into this routine, into bad habits of always being unidimensional, of just focusing on one thing and forgetting all of the other things that there are in the world to do, to be, to have, to experience. And so one of the great gifts of being with these amazing people is a reminder of what it is to live, to be alive. I love that quote by Howard Thurman. He said, "Don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is more people who are alive." And all of these thoughts today, on the same day that I received such disturbing news from a dear friend, from a young friend, that she had received a very, very serious diagnosis, a reminder about how fragile life is, how unpredictable life is. We tell ourselves these stories that we will get to things, get to the things that matter, get to our dreams, get to those most important goals when the next landmark happens, or the next benchmark, or when the kids are out of school, or when we get rid of the mortgage, or when something happens and we defer, we put life off because of things we should do, or the stories we tell ourselves. And what's true is that tomorrow is promised to no one. And that while it's easy to feel trapped, it's easy to feel as if we are prisoners, we also hold the key. We hold the key to our freedom. We hold the key to unlocking the doors, to doing, experiencing what matters most in our lives. And so while I sit here trapped, I'm reminded that there is a way to see in the world, to be in the world, to live big, to suck the marrow out of life. And these reminders are good. The reminders are good for me, seeking out those places, surrounding yourselves with people who remind you of how important it is to be alive. So that's what I'm thinking about today. Have a great rest of the day, great rest of the week. Talk soon.